Go Petunias. Hey everybody, what's going on today? We're going to be talking about a movie that I love a lot and I probably try to watch at least a couple times a year. Today we're going to be talking about 2010's The Losers. I remember when this movie came out because, I was looking forward to another movie coming out, and that was The A-Team, which The A-Team is a movie I do still really enjoy, but man, did this movie, it put a damper on the A-Team, man, because this movie is like a better version of the A-Team. And again, I really love both movies, and I did enjoy the new A-Team at the time. But yeah, this one just is just like, man, they did the A-Team better than the A-Team. I will warn you, there's going to be spoilers in this review. Again, it came out in 2010, so yeah, you've had plenty of time not to be spoiled with this one, but part of me just wants to go watch it and then not have to, and then not talk about it, but that's not what you came here for, so we'll talk about it. What this movie is about, it's about a group of military men on a mission, led by Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, Clay, and they're on a mission. They're like specialists, but here's the thing, they're on this mission where you already know something's wrong because all they're doing is going and putting a laser target on this compound that it was supposed to be like a terrorist training ground or something like that. And they're like, why'd they get us to do this, right? So anyway, they've got the target painted, the jet's on its way with the bomb. But then they notice there's like 25 kids inside of this building, and they try to call off the strike. This is where you meet Max. Max is the villain, and for a while, all you see is all you do is hear Max's voice. You don't get to see his face. Unfortunately, they show it a little too quick, if you ask me. But he says, "Nope, the mission's still a go," and they're like, "Who is this?" And he says, they're like, don't you know there's kids there? And he's like, I don't care. Just do your job. And so they break the equipment, and he's like, well, we've already got the coordinates and everything, so the bomb's coming. So the losers decide they're going to go save the kids. They go in, they shoot up the place, they save the kids, and the ringleader of the compound faces off with Clay, and Clay has to shoot him. They escape, and they get to the rendezvous point, load up the kids, because there's not enough room for the kids and the team on the chopper. So they load up the kids. As the chopper is flying away, they hear on the radio that the chopper's going to get shot down. So the chopper gets shot down, and all the kids in there and everyone on there is killed. The losers fake their own death. They throw their dog tags into the fire, and now they're trying to make their way back into the U.S. To get revenge on Max. They end up meeting with Aisha, who is played by Zoe Saldana, and she gets them back into the country, and she's bankrolling them going after Max. So that's the basic setup of the movie. There's a lot more going on as it goes on. This movie was based on a DC Vertigo comic, which if you see any of the marketing for this, you can tell that they're going for the comic book vibe, or there's, especially all through the credits of this movie, there's all sorts of comic book drawings of these characters. It's like the art style of the Losers comic book, which, by the way, I have never read. I've always wanted to read it. I always don't think about it, and then I want to read it pretty bad. But the style of art that they use to draw Jeffrey D. Morgan, Idris Elba, and those that are in this looks like the comic book art style that the Losers comic book was drawn in. So I always thought that was really cool. This movie, as I said before, it was like a better version of the A-Team. You've got these specialist soldiers of fortune that have, they're soldiers without an army, kind of thing, and they're doing this job. Granted, the A team was always just helping people for money, where this team's just trying to get revenge. So I mean, there is that difference, but they definitely both movies have a similar feel to them. What I love about this movie is you've got a cast of characters that, unless you have a bankroll like Disney, you're probably not going to get today. Here's the people that lead up most of the losers. Got Idris Elba, Jeffrey D. Morgan, Chris Evans, Zoe Saldana. I mean, heck, three of those are Marvel people now. You also got Jason Patrick playing Max, the villain. So you've got this group of actors that are working perfectly off of each other. And, I mean, all six in the group are working perfectly off each other. All the characters are interesting. Some of them have, real motivation to get back home. Columbus Short's character, Pooch, his wife is pregnant, is about to have their first child. And of course, yeah, I love his line in this, where it's like, she finds out I'm alive, she's going to kill me. And so then Chris Evans, his character, has a niece who, that's where the Go Petunias from the intro came from. That's his niece's soccer team. That actually comes into play into a mid-credit scene. But yeah, you have this group of six that work really well together. Plus, you have Jason Patrick and his henchmen, played by Holt McCallany, or McCallany. I practiced that before I started. McCallany. Those two together are real silly together, and it's pretty funny because Jason Patrick's character is very eccentric and just, I mean, the dude's insane. Let's just put it that way. He's insane. And just some of the things he does, some of the things he says, just and a lot of it comes off as very comedic, even though he can get very violent. But those two together are also very funny. And also, the character of Wade, the Max's assistant, he knows who the losers are. So when they finally go after him, their cover of "We're Dead" it goes out the window because he knows them. What you have is not only them going after revenge, but Max has a plan to set off these bombs called snooks. And what it is, they don't explode; they just kind of implode. They show it like destroy an island, and it just kind of sucks the island in, and it's gone. I mean, it's very unbelievable what it's doing, but they even make the joke. It's like it's the bomb for the green terrorist. It doesn't explode, it doesn't destroy the environment, but it gets rid of what you want to get rid of. And he's trying to get 4 of these things to sell to the highest bidder. And let me just put it this way, Max's negotiations to get these things made with the people that can make them, pretty funny. It's good times. But what you have is all these characters, and again, they all have their motivations. Some of them don't trust others, even though they've practically been a family this entire time. Zoe Saldana, of course, her character, Aisha, has just kind of come in, and she has her own motives that we eventually find out. So there's infighting within our good guys, which they're gonna go after this final mission. It's coming, but it's like, okay, what shape is this team gonna be in when they do? But when it comes to the action in this movie is really good. When it comes to the comedy, the way that the characters play off of each other is fantastic. Chris Evans, he has some of the best scenes of the entire movie. Him infiltrating this building to get this, it's like an algorithm or something to break into a hard drive. You will not get the song "Don't Stop Believin'" out of your head. after that scene. But yeah, it's so good. I don't really want to spoil much more of the movie, but I do have to talk about my disappointments in it. And really, I say disappointments, and there's really nothing I can do about these disappointments. Nothing can be done unless a miracle happens. I'm disappointed that this movie never got a sequel. It's left wide open, and I don't know if there's more comics, but Max gets away in the end, and so they leave it wide open for a sequel. And I'm sad that we've never gotten one. I actually got to talk to Jeffrey Dean Morgan a few years ago at a convention, and I had him sign my Losers poster. I'm just like, please, I said, at least just tell me that you want to see a sequel to this. And he's like, oh yeah. He goes, he's always wanted a sequel to that, and that it never got made was a pretty big disappointment to him. So yeah, I would love to see a sequel to this. You could still pull it off with the cast. I would love to see it. It's probably never going to happen. My only other real disappointment is, even though it's not much of a disappointment because I love Jason Patric's performance in this, I wish they wouldn't have showed his face so soon. They could have focused on his hand. He had this, like, he always wore a glove on his hand, and it turns out it was like burned or something. They never really explained it. And I think they could have just kept showing his hand, kind of Dr. Claw style. Because the whole thing is, nobody knows what he looks like in the movie until near the end. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character is really the only one that gets to see him in the movie when it comes to the Losers. So, I guess Roke does. Idris Elba's character does too because of reasons. But I wish they would have not revealed his face. Just used his voice for a while, because the whole thing was, they're like, he's got a voice, he's got a throat. Basically, if he's got a throat, we can cut his throat. So I was a little disappointed in that, but that's not something that ruins the movie. But not having a sequel, it hurts it just a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love this movie and enjoyed watching it yet again today. But not having the sequel just sucks for me, because this story is so much fun. These characters are so much fun. I hate seeing them only getting used once. So that's my biggest disappointment, is that I didn't get more of these characters. So anyway, if you couldn't already tell, watch The Losers. It's awesome. It's outstanding.